How's it going, guys? I am just finishing setting up and then we're gonna get started. I am live today on Facebook and on Instagram, so that's kind of fun. This is the first time going live on Instagram and Facebook combined, so feel free to interact, ask questions, and just jump in. My name is Chelsea Evans and I'm the owner and artist on Apple Blossom Way. And I am also an ambassador for Redesign with Prima. And today we're going to work on kind of a fun little project. I've missed you guys. I've been gone for 2 weeks from my lives. And I'm excited to be back here with you today. So say hi as you come on. Hi, Roz. And I will try and keep up with both. I need a partner. I need somebody to read me the comments as they come in. However, if I do miss any, please feel free to ask anyways, and then I will jump on and answer when we're all done, all right? So today we are going to be taking this old chair. This is kind of like an antique folding chair that I found. It's kind of cool, and I just painted it black, but I've left the under the seat and right here unpainted, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to paint that, prep it, and add some rice paper. So let me show you what I'm using today. I have, anytime you use rice paper, you are going to want to have a pair of scissors. You're going to want to have something to apply it with. So my favorite thing to use to apply decoupage and rice papers is Wysall varnish, matte varnish. It works like a glue, and I like using it because the ingredients are safe to use and it dries very quickly. So we're going to use that today. You can use any water-based clear coat, or you can use the 3D matte gel or gloss gel from Redesign with Prima as well. So it kind of depends on, you know, what's your jam? What do you like? That's what you can use. Okay, so I love this rice paper. It's called Twilight Field. It comes in a package just like this, okay? And I have one open. I can show you the size of it and what it looks like. Okay, so this is called Twilight Field rice paper, and you can see that beautiful floral design on it. I love the bright tones and the bright florals in it, and I think that will be really fun for my porch. My house is really neutral. It's like a white German smeared brick with a dark door, so I think it will be fun to have some bright florals on my chair. Okay, so I got my rice paper and I've kind of measured it out, and it's going to fit in my little spot perfectly. So I only need one piece. It says the measurements on the front of the package. So they're 11.5 by 16.25 inch is the size of them. So if you want to use this on a dresser or something, kind of measure out your space, and then you can order as many as you think you would need for your project. Okay, we'll just need this one for the top. And then the other thing that I always have is a white base paint, a white tone of paint. Now, you can see I didn't paint the inside of this black, and I have the color Bone. It's from Wysall Paint. Bone is like a super light gray, almost white color. Hey Michelle, how's it going? So sorry about that, you guys. I'm using 2 different phones, and for some reason the one phone didn't block the call when it came in. So hopefully no one else will call. All right, so I have my Bone paint, and I have a Klingon brush I'm going to use. Now, the reason why I'm going to paint this a white base is because I really want all of the colors on my decoupage paper to pop. And if I put it on black, when I add that top coat, it's going to get really dark, and you're not going to see all of the bright designs and the colors. So I want that to be bright and really pop out from the black. So that's the key to making your decoupage rice paper, whatever type of overlay it is that you're going to put down a white tone first. And I see Roz on Instagram. Hey, hey. All right, cool. You can use primer if you would like. You can use a white primer. I'm just going to use this, and it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'll even show you after I get this on here that I don't actually go all the way to the edges. And I just paint it on there thin. It doesn't have to be real thick. You don't have to have full coverage. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want a light coat on there. Now, if your piece that you're painting is already white or a cream or something like that, then guess what? You don't have to do this because you already have it light. So you can see I've just really roughly brushed it on there. Now I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to kind of feather the edges out just a little bit, because I can take my paint and go all the way to the edges where my decoupage is going to be. But I kind of like the look that it creates if I leave a little bit dark around the edges and then have white in the center. It gives it more dimension even underneath the decoupage paper. So I kind of like that. I like the way it transitions. It has a smoother transition than if I just have the white and the black. And it's totally a preference. Whatever you guys like and you're into, that's what you can do. Okay. Hey Terry, how are you? Okay, cool. So I've got that all feathered out and it's on there nice and light. This is gonna dry really quickly so that we can come right back to it and apply our tissue paper, rice paper. There's so many, decoupage, tissue, rice paper. If I say the wrong thing, just know it's rice paper. Okay, and then I am going, while this is drying, I'm gonna flip this up because I wanna do the underside. I thought this chair was cool because it folds, and I thought this would be fun because I can have it sit down and put like a wreath on it and write something on the seat, or I can fold it up and lean it against my house and I can have like a funny little saying, or I don't know, you guys help me brainstorm. What should I'm gonna use stamps, so what should I write on the back side of this? Like, go away, we're not home, peace out, I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. And I'm just gonna do the same thing on this side while we're letting the other side dry. And you guys tell me, what should I write? Not anything too long, like a couple words. Otherwise we're gonna be stamping all day. I'm just gonna kind of feather that under there. That might be a little tricky for us to get around. We'll make it work. And then the other thing I'm gonna use with the stamps, I'm just using the alpha stamps today. Those are letter stamps. I'll show them to you when we get to that point. But I'm gonna use the permanent ink from Redesign with Prima, and I'll talk to you guys about that when we use it and why I like it. How do I go from big curly hair to straight hair? Tools, hair tools. A waver. I have my hair crimper since junior high, and now it's popular again, so I'm glad I held on to it. Funny. For those of you on Instagram that haven't seen my Facebook Lives, everyone asks, because I have different hairstyles all the time. Okay. So that too is just a kind of a rough, thin coat. I'll probably come back and distress this side. We're not going to add decoupage to this side, but I'll probably come back and distress it. So I don't want it real thick on there. I just want it to have a little bit of that bright white tone to it, okay? And I'll set this aside. And then let's look at our other side and see if we're dry enough, which we probably are now, to be able to apply that rice paper. I'm working in kind of an odd space today. We got new flooring, and so I kind of had to come and work on the floor in my front room. So be patient with me while I maneuver this. All right, cool. Okay, so let's do the decoupage while we're waiting for the bottom side to dry. When the bottom side's dry, I will show you the stamps and the alpha letters. How long do I need to wait for it to dry? Just until it's dry to the touch. See, so we're all dry. I put a thin coat on. It's a chalk synthesis paint. It dries very quickly. Depending on your temperature and climate, your dry time is going to be different. So now I'm going to take my rice paper and I'm just going to kind of roughly measure out where I want it to be. And then I can move it around to decide where I want the design. But I kind of like the flowers coming down in this corner. So I'm gonna leave the flower design there about square. And it would have been smart if I had like a pencil to mark this, but I don't have one on me. And so I'm just gonna take my fingernail and I'm just gonna draw a crease in that rice paper so I can cut. I have a cut line, which will be really, really nice. And then I'll just do the same here. Now, there's two different ways to do this. I have an indented surface that I'm applying this to. So I want to cut it as precise as I can. If I have a flat surface, like a drawer face, I'm not going to worry about trimming the edges perfectly. I'm just going to put it on whole as is. Once it totally dries with the varnish, I can take some sandpaper, just lightly sand around the edges of that drawer, and then it will cut it for me. So, if you have a solid surface, wait, sand off the edges. If you have an inlay, cut it precisely and go from there. Okay, so we'll just go right down my little fingernail marks. Wait, is that right? Hold up, I almost cut the wrong thing. Whew. Good thing I caught that. Okay. And if it's not totally perfect, that's okay. I can always come in after it's dry and I can take a little bit more of the black paint and kind of just feather in and blend in the edges. Okay, that's pretty good right there. And then let's cut off our top piece. I love the rice paper because it has, I'll show you up close. If you guys have used it, tell me what you think of it. If you haven't used it, I'll show you why I think it's really cool. I love textured pieces. That's kind of my jam. And so if you'll look really closely, can you see the little tiny fibers in the rice paper? So those have a tiny bit of texture. If I put this down and I let it dry completely and I take my brush and I dry brush, or I have very little paint on my brush and I kind of lightly go across it, all of these little fibers will pick up that paint and it will give it that much more dimension, which is really cool and fun. So that's one reason I super love these, because they just give that like a next level of dimension. And then I'm going to take my varnish, Wise Owl varnish. This is the one I showed you at the beginning. This is the Klingon brush that I'm going to use. And we're going to use our scissors to open it because I forgot my can opener. And I'll double check it, just make sure, yeah, it's going to fit in there about right. I have a little bit of a rough edge. I'll go ahead and just clip that off because it's easy just to hurry and fix that. Now, the rice paper is thin, so you don't want to stick it down more than once. Like, you're going to decide where it's going to go, and that's where it's going to be. So I'm just going to take my varnish, okay, like that, and I'm just going to put it right down, right on the crevices. And as long as my white paint's dry, then I am good. Oops. And I put it on there kind of liberally. I don't want a lake or a pond, but I want to make sure that everything is all wet. If it's not all wet, then I'm going to get bubbles and wrinkles and things I don't like in my decoupage tissue or rice paper. If I make sure it's all nice and even and the whole thing is damp, it's going to adhere really nicely. Okay, so I'm going to take it and I'm just going to start. Let's see, I'm going to fold it like this, and I'm just going to start right on the edge. Oops. Right like that. And then I'm just going to use my hand and just gently kind of press it on there and slowly work across. This is going to help you get a better seal. And I'm not going to sit there and go back and forth because it's a delicate paper, and if I sit there and rub it, I'm going to tear the paper. So I'm just going to be gentle. Not going to worry if I do get a wrinkle or something. Don't worry about it. Just let it be. Let it dry, and a lot of times when it dries, it's going to kind of suction down and you won't even notice it later. Or it will just look like some of those fibers that are already in the rice paper. a lake or a pond. I know. I've got to have like visuals, you know, so you guys aren't overdoing it. Oh, we got people requesting to join me live. Well, if you got a really cool chair or something, maybe you could hop on here. Okay, so it is applied. Okay? Isn't that pretty? Now I want to show you. Look closely. Do you see how bright all of these flowers and the design here is so bright? Then look on the edges. See how the edges fade out and they're darker? That's because I left my edges black. So I have a natural fade on that I didn't even really have to do any work on. It was actually less work because I didn't have to tape anything off. I just kind of let it be and then added it on there. And now I've got some dimension, which is awesome. All right, so there's two things you can do. Now with the rice paper, I can let this completely dry and then I can add my top coat over top, which is what I'm going to do with this. Because it's very delicate, I feel like if I put more varnish on top right now, it might tear or rip. If you're using the decoupage paper from Redesign with Prima, it is a thicker material that's a little bit porous, so you can actually put down your varnish, put your decoupage down, and then you can varnish it right away and let it be. And that's it's really cool because it's a time saver. So depending on the medium you're using, oops, you might want to wait or you might want to go ahead. I'm going to wait, so we'll just let that be. And let's flip it to the bottom and let's stamp, because this is going to be fun. Did anyone think of sayings? I'm going to check through your comments and just see. Smile, that's cute, I love it. Sit a spell, that's super cute. Relax, hello, hey, hey, hi. Oh, what about that? Hey, hi, hello. How about we do that? That's kind of cute and fun, yeah? Let's do it. Okay, so let's talk about the stamps and the ink I'm going to use. And I'm going to set that aside while we chat for a second. So these are the stamps from Redesign with Prima. They look much nicer when you get them in the package. I use mine all the time, sometimes in a hurry. I don't put them back like I'm supposed to. But the nice thing, they're clear cling stamps. They show the design on the front of them so you can see where they're going to line up and how they're going to look before you actually apply them. So it's nice because it's like a natural guide for what you're doing, okay? Now, these are the alpha stamps. It has all uppercase and lowercase and some exclamation points and punctuation in there for you, which is awesome. Now, I'm going to show you the difference between these two ink pads, okay? So Redesign with Prima has two different types of ink pads. One of them is from by Color Philosophy, and if you look closely on it, they're all cool, they're all stackable, they look really similar, but if you look closely, this one says permanent ink on it, okay? It means it's not coming off. And by not coming off, the last time I used this, I was on my dining table and I went over the edge of my piece onto my dining table and nothing would take it off. I even tried 91% alcohol and it would not come off of my table. I had to sand it to get it off. So by permanent, it does mean permanent. It's a really awesome permanent ink. Now, the Decor ink pads from Prima are not permanent. So these are great to use on any paper products or something that's really going to soak it in. If you're not going to wash something, these are great to use. Or if you let these sit for a while and you seal them with a varnish or a clear coat, then you can use this and it will stay on your piece. Now, this is going to be outside, so I'm going to use the permanent one. Okay, just a little lesson on inks for y'all. Perfect. You're welcome. I hope that is helpful for you. Okay, so let's do this. Let's see how dry. I think there we go. We are dry enough, so let's go ahead and, I don't want to set this against my wall, but maybe we'll just be gentle and I will. You guys can still see that okay? Yeah? If I set it there, we're good? Okay, so let's, now got my white on here. I'm going to put them on there. Once it's totally dry, I'll kind of distress it so you can see a little bit of the wood underneath. The letters distress a little bit. And I think it's going to look really cool together. Kind of bring it all together. Then, since it's going to be out in the porch, if it weathers, the distressing will look natural. So let's get out, I should have pulled out the letters I needed beforehand, but that's okay. We can do it. There's our H. And let's see, we got hey, hi, and we need 2 L's and an O. And we got our hey, hi, hello. Sweet. Okay, cool. So you can see they have the color on the back, so I can see where it's going to align and how it's going to look. And I think we'll start, let's see, we can kind of measure out our height. So if I go here, can I put 3? I could do that. Let's do it here. Okay, and I want the last letter to line up. So I'm going to start with the last letter of each of the words, and then I'll move this way. That way they're all in line. So I've got my Color Philosophy black ink. It's called Chat Noir. I don't know if that's how you say it, but that's how I say it. And we're going to start with Y, because we are going to do Y first. And this is kind of nice. This is kind of like my straight line, right? So now I can kind of see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to go ahead and set that down and just pat my Y. And okay, our E. And our H. I think this is going to be kind of cute. And then the last thing I'll show you when we finish these is I'll kind of show you how you can use this for all seasons. So to decorate it. So hey. Fun. I like how it's not perfect, how they're kind of, that's kind of cute. Do hi. And then hello. And if you wanted them to be perfectly straight, like if that's something that would bother you, you can take a ruler and just do a really light pencil line, so it's really nice and perfectly straight. It really depends on, you know, whatever your style is, what you like. This would be really cute, not on a chair too, this would be cute to make signs. So if you had friends over, or if you guys did it virtually together, and you did a project like this and made like little signs you could hang on your door. If you get a round one, you could put it in the middle of a wreath, and that would be really cute. Watch me spell something wrong, wouldn't that be? H-E-L-L, okay. Gotta make sure, guys. Okay, one more L. We're almost there. This will probably take, I don't know, I'll probably let it dry. I mean, the top one's almost dry, but I'll probably let it completely dry for about half an hour. And then I will go ahead and take some fine grit sandpaper, some 220 grit sandpaper, and I will just kind of distress it. Got our E. And our H. And then I'll show you the last step of a fun chair and how you can make it for all seasons. That's kind of cute. I can take my letters, my stamp letters, and I can either put them in soapy water and clean them, or I can use a baby wipe and wipe them down, and that will clean them. But you see our cute little chair. I'll distress it. That's gonna look fun. I could even hang something, like hang some little gems or stones, or I don't know, something cute right there. And then I can keep it down like this. And the reason I like chairs with little backs like this is because you can hang a wreath from them. So this is how you make your chair all seasons, okay? So this would be really cute. This wreath's a little big, so you might want a smaller wreath, but it is cute. And then I can tie it right here to this rung and put a really cute bow, like a black and white bow on there. I could put a really light pale bow or wreath for Easter. This would be like so cute if I had a witch's hat and put a witch's hat on it and kind of just let it hang on the back of the chair for Halloween. Christmas, you could put a Santa hat on it and just make it really fun and kind of make it your own thing. And then, you know, you could even have like a secret message for your friends, like if the chair's up, come on in or whatever, you know. I mean, just make it fun and make it yours. So I hope that you guys learned something. I hope that was helpful for you in applying the rice papers and the stamps, and maybe give you some ideas to do something fun and creative, because that is one of the best things about this life is we are all creative beings and we can do amazing things, and it's fun. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you next Wednesday, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 10 if you're in the Pacific, and like 1 if you're back east. So see you guys.